Hey everyone, and welcome to another installment of CSI, a series where we review all the score streaks in this game and show you the numbers that the game doesn't tell you. Today we'll be taking a look at the XS1 Goliath. I know Hawk sent a video covering this a while ago, but some of his information is slightly outdated, and I will go into more details here. The gameplay here is some inner scrim highlights. This is a 900 point streak, or 1800 with persistence. Let's begin with the damage. It will deal 40 damage up to 7 meters, dropping off to 30 damage after 7 meters, and finally 22 damage after 46 meters. This means that it will take 3 to 5 shots to kill. Now that's a lot of damage. Headshots deal 0% more damage. This means that you should never aim for the head. The fire rate is 600 rounds per minute. This is pretty slow compared to most weapons. ADS time is pretty slow at 350 milliseconds, which is faster than LMGs and snipers, but slower than all the ARs. When we combine the firepower stats, the time to kill is relatively quick, 200 milliseconds up to 7 meters, 300 milliseconds from 7 meters to 46 meters, and finally 400 milliseconds after 46 meters. However, you will not achieve this theoretical time to kill at mid-range because of its debuff. It is the only weapon that does not provide 100% accuracy when aiming down sights, which makes long shots and fighting head glitches really difficult. But don't worry, the spread is really tight. Hipfire is excellent and basically on par with Cordite, and it's definitely a viable option up close. Let's talk about the ammo system. It has infinite ammo, but there are restrictions. If you continuously fire 50 rounds, the weapon will overheat, and you will not be able to shoot until it starts to cool down. The time from when it overheats to when it starts to cool down is 5.3 seconds. The time from when it starts to cool down to when it's completely cooled down, or what I call 49 to 0 cooldown time, is 2.3 seconds. When we combine these numbers, your overall overheat downtime is 8 seconds. What this means is that you should try to keep it from overheating. Don't shoot non-stop. Stop shooting at around 40 rounds and let it cool down. It only takes around 2 seconds for the weapon to cool down from firing 40 rounds. Now let's talk about the pod in which the Goliath arrives in. The flare for the pod can be destroyed by an enemy trophy system, so beware of that. It takes around 5 to 6 seconds for the pod to arrive, and it takes 1 second to capture the Goliath you called in, but it takes 3 seconds to steal an enemy or a teammate's Goliath. This means that your downtime is at least 7 seconds, which is a long time. You can squash an enemy when the orbital pod lands. It will give you 100 points per kill or 125 if hardline. You can team kill with the pod, and it will show up in the kill feed. However, it will not give you any points, nor will it count as a kill on the scoreboard. Finally, we will talk about the most important thing, the mech suit itself. It has 1725 health and infinite duration. There is no headshot multiplier on the XS1 Goliath, but there is the 0.9x leg area multiplier for weapons like the QQ9 that have it. So when shooting the Goliath, you should always aim at the upper chest. Your base sprint speed inside the Goliath is 3.7 meters per second. This is the slowest in the game and can be increased to 4.1 meters per second with the red lightweight perk. Your base strafing speed is 1.35 meters per second and can be increased to 1.51 meters per second with the red Skulker perk. This is slightly faster than LMGs but significantly slower than most ARs. You'll get 20 points per kill inside the Goliath, or 25 with hardline. You'll get 150 points for destroying an enemy Goliath, or 187 with hardline. When the Goliath is destroyed, it will explode and deal damage to all enemies within an around 8 meter radius, and will kill all enemies within a 5 meter radius. The lethal radius can be reduced to about 3 meters with the flat jacket perk. The Goliath also has a melee attack feature and self-destruct feature. The melee attack is done by pressing the knife button that pops up when you're close to an enemy. But you should never use it unless you're really desperate because this is highly inconsistent and unreliable. Besides, who actually uses the knife button? The self-destruct feature is done by pressing the red button, and it will give a 2-second countdown before self-destructing. This can be cancelled at any time by pressing the self-destruct button again. Self-destructing will do the same thing as getting destroyed, so it will kill or damage enemies around you. I would say that this isn't really useful and you should not use it unless you're trolling or really desperate. Next, let's cover how perks interact with the Goliath. The red perks that work are Flat Jacket, Lightweight, Skulker, and Agile. The green perks that work are Toughness, Tracker, Cold-Blooded, and Hardwired. The blue perks that work inside the Goliath are Hardline, Demo Expert, Tactical Mask, Alert, Engineer, and Dead Silence. Now, counters. Firstly, if your whole team just gangs up on a Goliath, you can destroy it really fast, but at the cost of heavy casualties. As far as operator skill goes, here's a quick tier list. The best one is obviously the Annihilator, simply because you can destroy the Goliath in 2 to 3 shots. As far as score streaks goes, here's another tier list. The Predator missile is the best against the Goliath and the most cost effective. The XS1 Goliath is a very intimidating and potentially game-changing streak, but there are a lot of good counters to it. Also, I heavily recommend you to not use it at the beginning of the second half in Domination, since most people will have their operator skills ready, and you will get destroyed very fast. That is all for this video. If you found it helpful, maybe share it with your friends. Anyways, thank you all for watching. Next up, Counter UAV.
Hardpoint locked down.
Target! Cover me, reload!
Hardpoint contested. Hardpoint contested. Hostiles have captured the hardpoint.
Grenade out! Reloading.
Hardpoint is ours.
Reloading, cover me!